everyone, Harvey's got a new hat! Welcome to the latest edition of Accelerate and the Running Shorts, a new podcast. So what is that on your head, Harvey?
I think it's fashion, but I'm not quite sure. We've just had all of Vago's summer range land. So this is the Featherlight bucket. So it's a bit lighter than the ones before. The peak's a bit thinner. It folds really small. It's white and pink, two great colours for the summer.
Somebody on Instagram put a black item and a white item out in the sun for running in, and then got one of those clever zappy point the laser at thermometer things, and the white items were about 10 degrees cooler than the black items. So a white hat's going to keep your bonds cooler. It would appear.
Training black, racing white. Nice.
30 degrees, yeah, that'd be good.
And then we've also got some new club cap colours. So like Stu's got here.
Yeah, I like these. Yellow in it. My safe colour apparently yellow.
Yeah, got loads of jazzy colours there. And then we've also got some visors, which if you want your hair to flow free or your scalp, they're quite nice.
Yeah, never gone for the visor thing.
No, I used to love a visor.
Like a good hat.
Yeah.
Like a good hat.
So come down and try them. They feel really nice. They're just cool hats, aren't they? Can't go wrong with a nice hat.
Yes. Are they recycled?
I don't know.
Have to ask them.
Yeah.
Normally like to know that stuff. And there goes the sign. Wow.
Oh well.
I blame the student management department.
Just
That's
can't
Harry
get
again,
the
isn't it?
right team, can we?
Yeah.
And then
Can't
on to some new shoes, which I think you've just had a pair in.
Yeah, I've got some more testies to do.
Lots of test shoes at the
Yeah,
moment.
I know. I'm quite lucky. I don't know how that's happening. Must be your turn next.
Hopefully. So what have you got there, Stu?
What I've got here, Harvey, is... I can't remember what it's called. It's a new Merrill. It's the Skyfire 2. And I know that because it says it there.
Yeah, looks pretty sharp.
Well, yeah, it's kind of an old school road racing shoe with studs on the bottom. That's my initial impression. But you know me, old man shoe.
Yeah. Shoe.
That said, it's a double-layered midsole.
Is there a plate in there, or is
No,
it just
it's just a black line.
just different density?
Yeah, different density. It's quite springy.
Yeah.
But then shoes generally are. Vibram outsole.
Very stripped back.
I think
for those who can't see it.
Yeah, the studs 6 mil.
They look about 6, don't they? 6 on the inside.
I think that's where Vibram have tried to go with all their studs. Because there's been some interesting research done on spuds. Spuds? Yeah, on spuds. So we now got spuds on our shoes, not studs.
Yeah.
So it's been some interesting research done on the studs on the bottom of shoes. And in all but the worst terrain, we've been making the studs too big and we've been wasting resources. So I believe that one of the things Vibram have done is they found the optimal to go with the life of the shoe.
Yeah.
And that's coming across more and more in their sheds. I can't even say
shoes.
So. I'm just going to forget it.
Yeah.
Just going to go somewhere else and talk about
apart from really
spuds
deep
and
mud,
shoulds.
4 mil lugs are pretty good for most things, aren't
Yeah,
they?
absolutely.
A lot of people overlug a lot of the time.
So they've kind of then built in to the moulding of the midsole, so it's kind of got little gaps for mud, water and etc. to sit, so you get the kind of a bit of a tractor tyre thing going on. But being a Vibram outsole, you know it's going to do the job on rock.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take these to North Wales.
Yes.
And we're going to have a little play there in them. So I'm quite looking forward to these.
Quite at home there, I think.
I think so. The upper is actually super lightweight. When you actually put your foot in there, if you've got bright coloured socks, you can see your socks.
It's always nice.
So it's always good. And it says in here, Merrill Test Lab. So there you go. Float Pro midsole, 5mm Vibram. 5mm Mega Grip lugs.
Look deeper because of the groove, that's why we said 6.
Yeah, 6mm drop, ultra lightweight design, and it says a flex plate. I didn't think these were plated, but perhaps they are. Sure, when I read the blurb, I didn't pick that up.
Must just be a rock plate then.
I don't know. I'm going to check that and I'll let you know.
Yeah.
It's a bit rubbish not knowing right now.
There we go.
There
Harry
go.
can edit it in and pop something over the top.
Yeah, I think so. But basically, put foot in it, had a quick run on the treadmill, and I actually really like the feel of them.
Yeah.
The other thing I quite like is the fact there's less under your foot. It felt like you could run in it again, and I wasn't losing everything.
Bit more of a traily racing shoe, or still every day.
You see, this is the argument, isn't it? We look at that compared to the big oversized shoes today, and we go racing shoe. Mm-hmm. I look at that and I go, oh, that's a cushioning, and I just don't look at it and go injuries. I don't look at it and think problems. I actually look at it and think lightweight, fast, move easily, comfortable, nimble. Mm-hmm. That's instantly what I think.
Yeah.
And for me, the responsiveness isn't just from the shoe, is it? It's the fact that you're pushing and getting a response from yourself. I saw a review of this where a guy had come out of basically running in big oversized shoes, put these on, and then had calf problems, and I thought it was the shoe. Mm-hmm. It's not the shoe. Mm-hmm. You've got to be strong. You've got to be, feel confident running in these. So I can see a lot of experienced trail runners and fell runners as an everyday shoe going to this. Yeah. And then yes, as a lighter weight trail shoe, why not? Mm-hmm. For racing in, I get it.
Yeah, they look pretty nice. Be interesting to hear your thoughts on those. So
yeah, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
So Debs has got a pair as well, I believe.
Yeah, slightly racier ones. I think she's got. They're a bit more stripped back, aren't they?
Shot the same one, I think.
Oh,
Same pair.
Ignore me.
Here we go, same pair. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
she snuck them away with quite quick in her bag, so I never got to even look at what she got. So she obviously liked them and thought I'm having them.
Yeah.
So yeah, really, really quite excited by those. So it kind of ticks all my boxes. So we'll see how it runs.
Yeah, and then staying in the same vein of shoes, we've got a new brand landed in the shop.
These are quite exciting.
We're both quite excited to try, have a run in.
Yes.
So we've got the new normals. If I hand you that one, they are kind of co-designed with Killian.
Killian Jornay, yes.
So half decent mountain runner. Probably the greatest mountain runner of all time.
Quite possibly, yes.
But they do two. So you've got the Tamir and the Shirak, which is the slightly racier one, so a bit more stripped back, slightly lower profile, still plenty under your foot, quite a soft midsole. And the Tamir is slightly grippier, a bit of a bigger shoe, but still feels very light.
Yeah, it does, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's interesting actually, because we were talking earlier, we started to do a little bit more research into the background of what Killian's all about, because obviously he's not just a mountain athlete, it's his home.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he's really trying to get to grips with, no pun intended, he's quite clearly trying to look at the impact of making shoes and making kit. And I really wish him luck in that.
Yeah.
Because whenever I've seen him talk, I always think what a thoroughly decent guy. So he's really trying to work with, it's a Spanish shoe company, isn't it? He's joined forces.
I think it's called Caper.
Yes, or Camper, or
yeah.
It's obviously all new to us in the running world, but basically he's trying to come up with, as far as possible, an environmentally better product.
Yeah.
And he's not saying at this stage that it is the perfect environment.
Yeah, they're not putting numbers on it as
they're
of
trying
yet.
to maintain functionality as well.
Yeah.
But what they are saying is things like when you finish with the shoe, they want to get to a point, and I think they can almost do this, where they can have the shoe back, repair, and potentially have it reused.
Yes.
And they're certainly talking about the outsoles being reusable.
Yes, well, already in certain countries you can do that. It's just obviously UK's a little bit behind on that front.
There's a surprise.
But at least it's happening in some places, which it'll be a trickle-down effect, which is good. But yeah, I popped the Shirak on and jumped on the treadmill, and they felt incredible. Potentially one of the best trail shoes I've put on ever.
Wow, that's a big statement.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get you a pair to give them a go.
Yeah, so I've hopefully got a pair coming.
We'll get you a pair.
But just felt grippy, felt cushioned, not heavy, but not too firm, not too soft, just easy to run in. Yeah, it'll be good to get.
It's again, it looks a big stacked shoe, that one, but you are sitting in it.
Yes, I think this one's only 17 and 23. That one's 32.
I think it's just
27. So it's still not huge stack heights.
But you are sitting in the midsole.
Yeah.
So that's obviously going to provide a nice stable platform. But again, it's not squidgy. It's firmer.
Yeah.
But there is definitely a nice rebound feel to the material. They've done a lot of testing before they brought the shoe to market, and they are quoting over 1,000 kilometres for this.
Yeah.
XD.
Yeah, which is this one actually. The Tamir doesn't have those numbers against its name.
Okay.
But I imagine similar mileage because it actually looks even tougher because they've stitched the midsole and stuff, which is an old school way of doing it, really.
Yeah, and I know they're looking at recycled materials and what they're doing. There's a lot of overlay on here, which makes it look pretty, but is it really necessary? I guess time will tell as they can.
Yeah, it's always the balance of performance and. So it's still a shoe that people wear, isn't it?
But the key is they really want the shoes to last.
Yeah.
And they are looking what's happening down the chain. So if you like what happened before, we get this shoe and they're looking at everything from the factories they're using, looking at the statements they're making, the social impact and the environmental.
Yeah.
So I think the first thing to do is let's find out what the shoes are like, but from an environmental point of view, let's just see if it can actually take it to where he wants it to, because that would be great.
Yeah.
That really would be good. We need more of this thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, definitely, if you're in the market for a new trail shoe, come down and give them a go, because I was very impressed with initial thoughts on them. But yeah, I'll keep you posted as well.
Yes, it's Vibram outsoles as well, which we've just talked about, so all that's going to kick across as well. And I think Vibram are starting to add more recycled material to everything they're doing as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So we know that they're in the forefront of all of this, so it'll be good. It'll be good. Yeah, I quite like the look of them.
Yeah, I think they look smart. White always divides people, but yeah, I don't mind it at all. I think it looks quite classy. Every shoe gets dirty at the end of the day.
Really muddy puddle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like you, I'm quite excited by those. I think they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TBC.
Yes. I'll put it down.
Yeah.
I've had a kind of a few days out the office because I've missed all this stuff coming in.
Yeah. Been anywhere nice?
No, not really.
Never mind.
To do stuff at home and get lots of other worky stuff done, but that's been okay. And of course, we're looking at what we're doing with, shall we say, a bit of a rebrand, but we'll leave it hanging there.
Nice.
So, which we all know about, and it's looking quite cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll come on to that another day. I just want to say welcome back. We had a bit of a short break there because somebody forgot to delete stuff off the memory card. I don't know. They won't do it again, will they? They'll never forget.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go.
Oh well. Moving on.
The discipline in this place awful, isn't it?
It is when you chuck shoes at.
Tell you what, I'm trying to throw them back and it really hurt. Oh no, here we go. Anyway, you've been busy.
Yes, yeah.
You've got a certificate.
I have, yes.
And you've got a certificate in...
Sports massage.
See, look, shoulders.
Just that awkward little... Oh, yeah, there, just there.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Sorted. Healed.
Yeah, I might have just bashed the microphone so if there's a funny scraping noise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel great now, thanks.
Perfect, bro. Yeah, I'm taking customers.
Because you started this project in fairness in lockdown.
Yes, so kind of initially when we all got locked down and we were still working, we treated each other a little bit because we couldn't get to see anyone.
Yep.
Kind of realised it was something I quite enjoyed and wasn't
quite good at, actually.
too bad at, yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
And have been wanting to do a course, but just finding the right one and saving for it. And then, finished it a couple of months ago, finally got it signed off and got a certificate. So, yeah, now qualified therapist, which is pretty cool.
Yes. So we use massage a lot, and a lot of people, I'm going for treatment. And it's not, is it? It's not a treatment. It's not like you've got something wrong necessarily. it really is more about not getting to that stage.
Yeah, I prefer maintenance as a way of describing it, or it's a bit like changing the oil on your car.
Yes.
You do it before your car runs out of oil.
That's the one.
Hopefully. Just to keep it going. I think used in the right way, if you're running lots, it can be massive from stopping you.
Well, I actually think generally in life, because it's not just... we sit a lot, and if we're at desk using mice or writing, you really are in a rubbish position.
Yeah.
And, we're quite lucky because we can sit on these and we're slumping and the body gets a bit of a rest while we're sat here. We're not like in a funny position. So actually it's all this stuff, just general life stuff, that massage can help with. And that in turn, if to run or to exercise, I think it can have a massive benefit. By the same token, running or even sport in general, something can tighten up and gets a bit sticky. You used a good word the other day.
Adhesions, yeah.
Adhesions, that was it.
Yeah, so like what most people would call a knot, just kind of where muscle fibres have got a little bit stuck together, kind of not running in quite the right vein. And just breaking that down so it makes it move. Yeah, it just feels a little bit easier if you've had it done. It's a bit tender to do, but like afterwards you feel a lot better and a lot freer. I always think after I've had a massage, I just feel a little bit taller, because kind of everything's relaxed and let you
definitely
support yourself a little bit better.
Just feels easier to move as well.
Yeah.
But it's also something from my point of view, I'm a big advocate of sports therapy massage. And quite often if I see things with the athletes I'm coaching, I'm not shouting physio, I'm going, hey, perhaps you need to see someone and get everything ironed out and get those adhesions just removed, taken away, just eased out a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's always the same. It keeps the physio at bay, and we're not trying to put physios out of business, because we need physios. There's so much that they can offer us, and I don't just mean in injury management, but actually just to keep on top of our bodies with massage therapy is just, why don't more people do it?
Yeah, like I've been pretty lucky. I've been exposed to it in different sports for a long time.
Yeah, well, you've been at elite level for a long time, so with your sailing and everything.
Yeah, and family. Like my sister is a good sports person, so she was getting treatment and massage and everything else long before me. So it's just something.
Got you now.
Yeah, something very normal.
What it was for me, because my family, yes, my dad and my sister, that's what they do, and they're both really, really cool. My dad's in his 80s and he's still going. He's still doing massage, I think, once a week down in Peterborough.
Yeah.
So a company called Overtones. My sister's Overtones down in Surrey. And she's taken it to a whole new level. That's the story.
Yeah. Wizard. Which wizard? Magic. Whatever it is, it's magic.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, all the fascial release stuff, but another level. Yeah, she's got witchy things going on with her hands.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, so she's cool. So while Oliver's here Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, if we get somebody wandering in and going, so can you help? Harvey can step right up there and do it for you straight away.
Yeah.
So you're on hand, so to speak.
Yeah, figuratively and literally.
Yes, so that's really cool, I think.
Yes, I'm quite excited, and it's something I find really interesting, and seeing the process of people kind of relaxing and being able to move better has just been helping people. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know what I think of that. I love seeing people move well, it's great.
Yeah. And
big smiley faces at the end of it, so that's kind of looking good, isn't it?
Yeah, so if you want to come see me.
Yep, and Ollie.
Yeah, and Ollie, and anyone else here actually.
Well, you took the main for that.
Yeah.
So Izzy's out of action at the moment because she's about to be a mum. So that's quite exciting as well.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we've kind of caps, new shoes, got massage.
Yeah.
Team training's going well for you again, isn't it?
Yeah, come back off a big break for me from a weird hip thing, glute, back, everything, just a bit broken, but on the other side of it now. And going well, which is nice to be back training with everyone. We had a bit of a group the other day, and it was kind of one of the first times I managed to complete a full mostly session.
That makes it sound like you've been dropping out of sessions. That's not quite true.
No, I've had intentionally shorter sessions, but that's about it. Like actually had the same assigned session and completed it.
Yeah.
Which was really nice.
You got Thursday, very exciting.
Yeah, nice little spinner. I just love training. So it's, I think I had 8 weeks off running, which is the longest I've ever not ran for since I started. And it tells, but
but the point of that is as well, there was lots of stuff that we could do,
yes,
and you were doing. So your process back. There was I think this harks back to what was happening a couple of years ago. And as you've got stronger, I think the general consensus is that it's not just me thinking this, that your compensation's got better and better and better.
Yeah.
To be fair, we probably picked this up a couple of times before and tried to think, well, okay, how can we help this? And I think other bits of your body took over. And it's weird, isn't it, where it was manifesting itself, it turned out to be a hip and a mobility and a strength thing combined.
Yeah, it was just a big combination of it all, and I'm quite good at pushing through stuff, which is not ideal in this situation because it just matters it again until it gets too bad.
I hope you don't mind me mentioning this, but part of that process for you as well has actually been sitting down with Karen, who's head coach, and just looking at the process and how you think things through. And the fact you are so determined and you will push yourself, that actually there's got to be a process in there that says, hang on a minute. So I think you're going to come out of this way better than you went in. So from not nice things, there's some good.
You've got to take the positives from it.
There's got to be so much good come out of it. And your strength at the moment, looking at your move, it's just like another level again.
Yeah.
It's like just popped up. So it's kind of almost like an enforced periodization approach.
Yeah. So good from it. Less good at times, but yes.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
Nice to be back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's frustrating, isn't it? And then it's that whole process of all of us. What do we do?
Yeah.
What can we change? What can we do better? What can we learn from it? And of course, soft tissue work. In part, in this case, is a treatment, but also just making sure that we keep those knots ironed out has been really beneficial for you.
Yeah, because when I've been coming back, other things have been tightening up as I'm using it slightly differently, just compared to how it was. And like I've had achy muscles, which I haven't had in a very long time, because it's just something that you don't get if you're training a lot. In the same sense, it's not, you don't get the same same DOMs you would if you were training regularly.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I tell you what, for me, one of the key things here, it shows, and we had a little bit of this with Hugh, despite him being in Loughborough, and he had some issues, again, back through hip, which Loughborough didn't pick up, but we kind of had, and then it wasn't until we were able to get him back here that we said, right, this is the process that you need to go through to sort this through. To me, it just shows that when you've got a group of like-minded people wanting to get the best for people, which is pretty much the reason why we wanted Accelerate. I'm going to call it Accelerate Physio and Coach. I know, there you go. There's part of the rebrand. Accelerate Physio and Coach. It just shows that when a group of people sit down and actually start communicating about a treatment and a return to running plan of where we can get to. Mm-hmm. So we've involved Oliver. We also have used a guy called Alex Jones, or he's external to us. He gets what we're doing, and he's sports injury osteopathy. So he's really able to back up from a medical point of view what we're doing, and he was communicating back to us as a team. Yeah, which obviously we have to have your permission for, but it worked really, really well. Then obviously from a movement point of view, we then started able to say, okay, we've got specifics that we need to look at. So Oliver was able to get that ball rolling. Yeah. Then obviously I was just seeing you moving. Paddy was seeing you moving. Yeah. And then we're able to construct.
Nancy gave me a little bit of mobility stuff as well.
Yeah, and say Nancy introduced some more mobility stuff for you. But the basis of it is we're able to move absolutely everything forward. And for me, the way that's worked and is still working. Yeah. You know, okay, no longer seeing Alex, he said, no longer medical. Yeah. This is now you getting back. Don't let this happen. If this starts to happen, shout. Yeah. I'm picking things up in the movement, coming up with movement solutions that I feel are right, able to say to Paddy, look, what about this? Then getting Oliver to check it where appropriate again, So you've kind of ended up with this, I want to say, a triangle of care and rehab, but at the moment it's...
And I think Karen checked in with you a little bit.
Yeah, she did. She just basically just said that...
Because,
you're healthy, really.
Big part in it, yeah.
Yeah, just healthy. But I don't think people sometimes realise that actually it's rare we say to an athlete, stop.
Yeah.
It's rare. We don't want that. I don't want it as a coach. Even some running's better than none. But even, there was a point, wasn't there? We don't really want you to swim. We don't even want you to really go out on the bike. We can do some light walking, but it's about the movement patterns and getting those right and then getting your strength up.
Yeah.
And I think when you were first told that, you just wanted to run against the wall.
Yeah. Well, for someone who probably exercises 15 to 18 hours a week, it's a lot to lose.
It's a lot, yeah. And okay, we know that from your point of view, we know you know what to do with nutrition. That really wasn't the conversation to have. Checked in on it, and yeah, all good. But it really wasn't it? At that stage, it was like flip my head.
Yeah.
What do I do? And I'll go listen to music. Read a book. And I think Karen was kind of really able to help settle that, give you stuff to think about, and so you had a positive process to start bringing forward.
Yeah.
And then this week, I mean, just so everybody's aware, today you've done your first morning session, and you're going to be doing an evening session as well.
Yeah. So it's still a little bit shorter, but kind of moving in the right direction. It's the structure's there again.
Yeah, and so next week we'll back everything off again. We'll look at the probably massage, etc., just to make sure everything's good and all the muscles are sitting in the right place, and again, movement's good. And then we'll take it through for the next sort of 4 weeks, and again finish that with recovery. So if you do get injured, folks, I guess what I'm trying to say is all is not lost.
Yeah,
there is so much that we can do, and you're in this instance, because you sat here, it's a classic example, and then obviously Hugh's another example, and we know how well he's running at the minute.
Yeah, fine.
He comes back this weekend. It's going to be a bit scary, isn't it? How quick he's moving. So yeah, it can be a good thing, and there's a reason for it. So how are you feeling about the rest of the year? What do you reckon?
Yeah, pretty good. I think we might have penciled some stuff in, which is exciting to have a name again. It's just nice to be back training. I just love running.
I know you do.
And just love exercising in general. So just been outside. Yeah, I just love it. But yeah, looking forward to it. Kind of, it means it's a bit of a different structure. So I annoyingly have missed a lot of summer races, but I've taken a lot more photos and done stuff like that, which is different. So I think back end of the year is looking quite fun, and just slightly tweaking the way we're going to get there.
Yeah, so, I think well done Team APC for
absolutely
everything we've done. It's great.
Invaluable.
It's been brilliant.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, if you're injured, or if anybody out there is a bit frustrated with stuff that's just not clearing up, all you've got to do is give us a shout, ask us some questions. We can dig a little bit deeper with you, and we can put you in touch with the right people to get everything hopefully in the right direction for you.
Yeah.
And again, this just proves that I think for what we do works, and the key is the communication, going away and doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not thinking it's this and that, and then trying to do 5 different solutions. Stick to one until we drill down to sometimes the real reason, or we know we're on the right path straight away. Yeah.
I think we've had one question submitted, which is quite a good one.
What have we had?
So it is, do you take any supplements to support your running and training?
Wow, that's... What sort of supplements?
Yeah. So we just generally take red blood cells, a little bit.
No. No. That.
So I think both of us take a ferroglobin, which is like an iron supplement.
Yes. Well, I don't eat a lot of red meat at all, and I know you don't.
Yeah.
So for that, the thinking there is we're not getting enough iron, because we'd have to have about 20 bags of spinach a day.
Yeah.
To stand still, and obviously B12, isn't it?
Yes, I also take a separate B12 supplement.
I think it's B12. So we both, and most of the athletes take that or an equivalent ferroglobin, And I do know some of the sporty universities, when the athletes first go there, every year they have a blood test.
Yeah.
And they check in for all this type of stuff. So, and it's quite often when you hear of people that are on a low meat or a non-meat diet, actually, but I get everything. Do you? Just double check it. But iron is a big one, B12 is a big one.
Yeah.
I actually know somebody who was a non-meat eater and avoided all animal-derived product, and they had heart problem. Mm-hmm. And would you believe it ultimately came down to iron deficiency?
Yeah, so it's an easy supplement to take.
Yeah.
And then
agree with that one.
I take a vitamin D just because we're in the UK and it's never sunny enough.
Yeah.
And then a C and zinc, but I take them because I got sent too many from a supplier, so I just have loads left. More than any other reason.
And if for breakfast, zinc tablets.
As vitamin C, I think you just wee out if you have too much of it. So
you still need to be a little bit careful with anything. So, but you eat more bloody fruit than a fruit bat.
But otherwise keep it pretty simple. We don't take loads.
Yeah. What about food supplementation? So obviously, when you're in full training, 70 miles a week plus, and when you think a morning session, an evening session on Tuesday, Thursday.
Does peanut butter count?
That's a food group in its own right, isn't it?
I think so. The amount I eat is. Yeah. I take. Oh, it's not really a supplement, but I generally have a carb drink pre and during sessions if they're a bit longer.
Yep.
So kind of anything that's going to last 90 minutes or over. And sometimes I'll take that on a long run or a gel just so I've had some energy, so I'm not coming back completely depleted. And then generally on a longer session I'll have a recovery shake afterwards, which
is protein carbohydrate mix.
And that's about it really. Just try and make sure
you
I
make your own stuff as well, haven't you? You've done some fresh fruity things.
I've had a play.
Well, so.
It's just easier to have a shake because I don't have to mix it up. If I've got enough time and remember, I'll put some fruit in.
And I think the key isn't it? It's the shakes and things, or
best thing you can do is eat.
We like the talk and we like the high five because we like the philosophy of what they're trying to do with natural ingredients, have a system. I think the other part of that is that it's like if you're training hard and you become carbohydrate depleted, you do start to eat yourself, and that's silly. And also, if you've got to put way more in after, you're actually eating up into replacing your own stores and trying to repair. So if you get onto the supplements during exercise, then actually you're helping your repair process when you come to stop.
Yeah.
And if you can tolerate it, obviously it's experimentation. A little bit of protein even during the sessions isn't a daft thing to do.
Yeah.
So there's lots of evidence, and obviously warm weather electrolytes, lots of people hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I when I used to be a trainer, I used to use supplements. Things were High Five was one of the first. I always remember Talk as well, quite early on. I always found that it was almost too strong. So if it was like one sachet for a 500ml bottle, in fact, High Five used to be liquid form, and a little thing that measured it out for you as you did.
Yeah.
I always, if it said 500ml, I always made it 750 or a litre.
So I'm the opposite. I'd rather it's stronger and have to drink less, which is then playing around with what works for you, isn't it?
Yep.
And also, like I don't think I sweat huge amounts in this sort of weather unless it's really hot. Not loads, but I don't end up having to drink huge amounts during a session.
Well, I'm not hugging you after you've done a session.
Well, no, but you don't normally hug me anyway.
But you know what I'm getting
at.
On your birthday, gave you a birthday hug.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
So yeah, it's just finding what works for you. In short, playing around. There's no right or wrong. It's what works, what doesn't affect your stomach. There's lots of numbers out there at the minute, but at the end of the day, we're all humans and individual.
There was somebody, I think it was a little bit anecdotal, but somebody was just putting together. I think it was done. One of the Diamond Leagues. I think I saw it, and I can't remember where I saw it. I just read the report, and there were athletes there that had tailor-made everything from a nutrition point of view, and those that were there. I take what I take, I drink what I drink, I eat what I eat, but not being crazy daft about it. And they were both winning races.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
for both sides of that table. So I think, like you say, it's finding what works.
And same with supplement bars or like cereal bars. They're great and they're easy, but at the end of the day, it's still a lot of natural products that you can make at home. If you can,
Naturally's always
eat
got
it
to
in
be
the
better.
unprocessed form, it's going to be slightly better, but sometimes that's not available, and it's better to have something than nothing. So yeah, it's that always trying to eat, trying to stay fueled. But yeah, kind of apart from that, just try and eat a balanced diet. Just be sensible. If you're hungry, eat. If you're thirsty, drink.
Yeah, chips and ice cream works for me.
Yeah. Perfect. I think that's everything for this week.
I believe it might be on. We didn't mention I've been testing.
Yes. How's that going? So if you've not listened to the last few episodes, Stu's got a couple of different road shoes, a couple of different trail shoes that are a little bit more stripped back. For today's world, I'd better preface his statement with that. And slightly firmer than everything else. So it's kind of just a bit of a play. That's what you grew up wearing.
That's the one.
So how are you getting on?
Old man shoes, but they're not old man
I've
shoes.
seen you wearing some Ultras a lot.
Yeah, the Escalante. Basically, the Escalante and as a road shoe. So I've got another road shoe to play with, and the Scott Kinneblue RC, the 3mm version. I'll bring them in when I've had a little bit more wear in them. Are the two I've been playing in. The Scott I kind of know better because I have worn them before, to be fair. Just so responsive. You just put your foot down and they feel really pingy. A little bit harder work going downhill, particularly if you're at pace. But I found which is not what they were touted as being made for, quite gnarly routes. They feel very nimble, very light on your feet. I wouldn't say they're the most comfortable thing on my foot when you first put them on, but once you get running, you forget they're there.
Yeah.
Well, apart from the bright yellowness of them.
That's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's just, even the puddles haven't dented that colour.
Just shed off it.
Yeah, it's just bright yellow. So actually, I'm really enjoying those, and I've started to wear them more again.
That's good.
And also, from a life point of view, I'm easily going to get 300 out of these, I reckon.
Yeah.
So I've been I've worn those a little bit longer, so I've got an idea what they've been doing. And the outsole hardly looks touched.
Yeah, and that's saying something because it's been, certainly in Sheffield, it's been incredibly dry. Like a lot of the things you've been able to wear road shoe for most of it.
Most of the rocks as well. And when we have had a little bit of rain, it's been a bit greasy, been surprisingly good. Just if it's a very, very steep or angled rock face, they haven't got the adhesion of something with a bigger stud.
Yeah, but that's always the battle you're going to face, because as soon as you're off that, you want a smaller lug.
Yeah,
again.
I have ended up on my bum once, and that was me actually testing the shoe, and that was my own fault.
Yeah.
It wasn't the shoes. I just thought, what will it do this or won't it? And I thought there's only one way to put however much stones through it, and way, there's
You found the ground.
Yes. So I shan't do that again.
Yeah.
And then the Escalante.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I wasn't sure.
Which is interesting, because I've seen you in them a couple of times then.
Yeah.
They're growing on you?
I really like them. So our mate Nick over at Ultra is going to be very pleased to hear that, isn't he? And took about 30 miles just to soften the midsole up, just to take the edge off. It felt a little bit harsh. Or is that me getting used to the shoe? I don't know.
Yeah, it might be. They looked quite stiff as well, so it might be just getting a bit more flexible.
Yeah, it could be. I've plodded in them. I've done a fartlek session in them. In fact, I've done 2 fartlek sessions in them. And they're definitely a road shoe.
Yeah.
The outsole profile, definitely not even for hybrid use. Forget it. Not really. Not designed for it, but that's pushing the shoe. And felt easy.
Okay.
That's the best way of putting it. Felt really, really easy to run in again. So many people just look at them and go, they're not cushioned. So many people will probably look at it and go, they're too hard. For me, it just felt like something that was dead easy to run in.
Nice.
And I keep putting them on.
Yeah. Like I say, I've seen you in a couple of times heading on runs in them, so it says a lot if you keep going back to them.
Yeah, and I think that's the kind of probably the proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
So right now, of the road shoes I've got, they're my faves.
Nice. Well, you've got a trip to Wales coming up, so it'll be interesting to see you put some miles in the Merrills and probably the other two.
Yes.
And then, we'll go from there.
Absolutely.
Check back in after that.
Yeah, but it should be good. I'm very keen to try those Merrills. They're going to be quite exciting, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else to add? Or
no, that's it
wrap up
for
this
now.
week?
I think we can. It's perhaps quite a long one this week.
Yeah, ended up being quite long.
Yeah, well, it's all those technical errors.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. If you've got any questions,
trouble.
pop them down below. Give us a like. If you want a massage, come see me. Nice one.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.